Coming up on OU Nightly, we've been tracking a multi-day severe weather outbreak. I'll give you the full rundown on our storm reports as well as what to expect tonight.
Plus, Oklahomans try picking up the pieces after a devastating tornado outbreak. And famous last words we hear from both candidates on the eve of Election Day. This is OU Nightly.
But it got so loud and heavy, I thought the roof was going to come in, and he said, "That's not hail."
In the middle of the night, disaster strikes. Today, OU Nightly brings you team coverage of the tornado outbreak that hit central Oklahoma. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Spencer Plato.
And I'm Darby McCormick. We are finally at the end of a 3-day tornado outbreak in central Oklahoma.
Sirens sounded here on campus and across the state dozens of times this weekend.
And the largest team of collegiate meteorologists tracked it all. OU Nightly's meteorologists issued tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. Let's get right back over to our senior meteorologist, Chloe Arroyo. Chloe, it was a wild weekend.
Unfortunately, you are absolutely so right. A very wild weekend and a lot of extensive damage. Here's a look from Valley Brook. This tornado was an EF3 preliminary rated. Lots of homes, roofs gone, and you can see the inside of the homes. That's how extensive the damage was. Now, just on Sunday morning, we had 5 tornadoes in total, one of which was in Texas. The rest of them were in Oklahoma here. And the first one that has been surveyed along the map had lasted 5.5 miles long. So we're continuing to track that as well as the other ones as they're continuing to be surveyed. So coming up in a bit, we're going to talk a little bit more about what we saw on campus. Specifically, we didn't see a tornado, but I'll have the full rundown as well as cooler temperatures and late week rain chances ahead.
Thanks, Chloe. We are hearing so many stories of survival today after the tornado outbreak. We begin in one of the hardest hit areas, southeast Oklahoma City near 89th and Sooner Road. OU Nightly's Abigail Franklin is live with one woman's story.
That's right. That woman in particular, she's learning about the Oklahoma standard here, as well as so many others that are continuing that Oklahoma standard here after an EF3 tornado ripped through this neighborhood. And as cleanup begins, so are the stories of those who experienced that night.
And then it shook upstairs, and that's when I was like jumped up. Oh man, this is the real thing.
A terrifying night for residents in southeast Oklahoma City.
It was awful. I don't wish it on nobody.
A tornado in the middle of the night.
Had to work to get down there. That's what was scary. It's like, what a sound, nothing sound. But we trying to get ourselves together, and they say it'd take a while to get the house right, so.
Joy Street has only lived here a few months.
Because we just moved here in August. So I said it's a welcome to the neighborhood.
And she's already getting used to what so many call the Oklahoma standard.
I was really surprised to see people helping each other. There was people coming through offering water and snacks, pizza. So I'm really surprised the community really did pitch in.
Strangers coming together to make Joy's next step a little easier as cleanup begins.
Yeah, we like the neighborhood. Don't want to leave. Hopefully it'll work out. I'm just glad we got through it, and we just praying and staying prayed up and looking forward to it getting better.
Now, I do want to note that Joy and her family are safe, as well as many others in this neighborhood. It's going to be a long road of cleanup for homeowners and crews as the weeks and days, or the days and weeks go on. But live in southeast Oklahoma City, Abigail Franklin, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Abigail. From one woman who just moved into the neighborhood to one of the first families there when it was built. The weekend tornadoes didn't spare either of them. OU Nightly's Olivia Hayes continues our team coverage tonight. Olivia.
Spencer, Darby, Michael, and Deborah Hendricks tell me they've lived on this street behind me for the last 30 years. Even with all the damage they face, They tell me that they're feeling glad and thankful that it wasn't worse.
We didn't know really what happened until we got up and looked out the back window and just seen it
all
full
the
of debris.
and
Deborah and Michael Hendricks say they woke up early Sunday morning to terror.
and we thought it was hail, but it got so loud and heavy, I thought the roof was going to come in, and he said, that's not hail.
The couple says it all went down shortly after they heard severe storms were over for the night.
There was no siren or no nothing.
was-
We'd watched the weather earlier before we went to bed, and they said there was no more severe
Weather.
for the
Just
rest of the
rain?
evening, just rain. So
Clearly not the case.
some of the chairs, like these brown chairs, those are ours. That's our chimney. It was from up there.
Their home of 30 years, now the victim of the latest Oklahoma tornado outbreak.
We're fortunate enough to have family.
Yeah. We got our son here so we could stay with him.
The Hendrickses tell me they were one of the first homes to ever be on this block. They do plan to rebuild and restore their home, but they do have a long road ahead. Reporting live in Oklahoma City, Olivia Hayes, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Olivia. The weekend storms gave some students a day off from school and sent others, like those in Newcastle, to class online. Today, that's because damage to the elementary school in that town was just too much to safely hold class. OU Nightly's Abby Williams is live about 15 miles west of campus. Abby, they may be learning virtually for a while.
Yeah, thanks, Darby. Early Sunday morning, a tornado came through here, the city of Newcastle, tearing apart trees and ripping the roof off the 5th grade center right behind me. I'll step aside so you can see those ladders up there, those workers finishing those final touches on that roof. And while the damage has nearly been restored, the initial impact has still left its mark.
Monday morning at Newcastle Elementary, but it's not your typical school day. Cleanup crews work to reverse the damage caused by the tornado early Sunday.
It was a mess, to be honest with you. It was, like I say, the debris was pretty wild. Anytime you have a roof completely ripped off and rolled into the parking lot, that's a scary situation.
Now the 5th grade center gets a new roof, and the guys working to make it happen say the people of Newcastle are coming together in support.
The community's been awesome, bringing us waters, and I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've had come by and ask, can we do anything? And you know, it's like, it's a dangerous area. We appreciate the help, but so the community support has been amazing.
Today, students at Newcastle Elementary had a virtual learning day, but a press release yesterday says students are expected to be back in the classroom on Wednesday.
But from a roofing perspective, this thing's about 95% usable. So by the end of the day, we should have all the cleanup done. Parking lot will be clean, all the grounds will be clean, and then the roof will be a usable roof. It'll just be up to the water remediation team to clear the inside of the building for use for the kids. But it's effectively 95% complete.
Yeah, the OU Nightly weather team expects those storms here in Newcastle to be over for the rest of the day, but are still continuing to monitor and track those throughout the rest of the state. Reporting live from Newcastle, Oklahoma, Abby Williams, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Abby. And we're about 14 hours away from polls opening across the country, and both presidential candidates are giving final pitches to voters. OU Nightly's Taryn Ward has what you need to know before tomorrow from the Election Center.
Spencer, we begin tonight with a bit of a shocker. Experts say we likely won't know who our president is tomorrow night. That's because it's expected to take days to count votes in the swing states that will decide the new president. The 7 battleground states are Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. Besides the presidential election, power could shift in Congress too. Republicans look to keep a majority in the House. Meanwhile, in the Democrat-controlled Senate, 34 seats are on the ballot. In the final stretch, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are in battleground states hoping to get any last votes. The vice president is spending the day in Pennsylvania, dividing her time between 5 cities, including Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Trump is spending the day in 3 states, beginning with a rally in North Carolina and then moving to Pennsylvania and Michigan. In their final campaign events, both candidates tell their supporters to get out and vote.
But we have to turn out and vote tomorrow. We're going to vote, vote, vote.
Allentown, are we ready to do this? Are we ready to vote?
CNN reports around 78.4 million Americans have already cast their vote. Here in the state, polls open tomorrow at 7 a.m. and will stay open until 7 p.m. If you get in line before polls close, you have the right to cast your ballot no matter the time. Just under 300,000 Oklahomans have already voted. Spencer, Darby.
Thanks, Taryn. And there's no excuse to not head to the polls tomorrow.
No ride? No problem. Coming up, ways to get a cheap or even free ride to vote on Election Day.
And the countdown to Christmas is on.
Hear what experts are saying about this year's holiday spending when OU Nightly continues.
Transportation can be a huge barrier for students. They might not be able to have a plan on Election Day.
And with polls open tomorrow from 7 to 7, there are deals available if you're looking for a ride to go vote. OU Nightly's Abby Hollinsworth has this in today's Money Matters.
Darby, on Election Day, users of rideshare apps will see different promotions when they click the Go Vote button. Apps like Lyft and Uber will offer 50% off to riders going to the polls. Across the metro, Embark bus services are free tomorrow. You can also call the Oklahoma Democratic Party to book a ride. And it's back to reality for the alcohol industry. During the pandemic, there was a surge in sales, but some of the world's largest alcohol makers say that's come to a screeching halt. Reports show consumers are no longer buying pricey bottles. They're now going for lower price items like beer and seltzers. All major categories are affected, including tequila, American whiskey, beer, and wine. The countdown to the holidays are on, with experts saying there's going to be record spending. The National Retail Federation says each shopper will spend $902 per person on seasonal items. That's a $27 increase from last year. With several deals available if you wear your I voted sticker, one sweetening Election Day. Krispy Kreme will offer a free glazed donut to voters. Darby, Spencer.
Thanks, Abby. If you are stocked up on leftover candy from trick-or-treating, don't eat too much of it.
Health risks that some people with a sweet tooth should watch out for.
Well, welcome back to OU Nightly. We've been tracking the severe weather outbreak that occurred this past weekend. Your campus weather authority has been on that. Let's take a look at current storm reports. This is from the entire weekend, and we're starting to get new reports from today in eastern and southeastern Oklahoma. So we had those 3 tornadoes over Sunday morning in the Oklahoma City and Norman area. But specifically in Norman, this is what we're talking about for OU campus. Now, a lot of folks were wondering, did we see a tornado on campus early Sunday morning? The answer is no, it was not a confirmed tornado. It was just extensive straight line winds. But that just goes to show that straight line winds can be just as damaging as those confirmed tornadoes right there. And we did see some trees down on campus and around Norman with that storm system that we saw early Sunday morning. Here's a look at radar right now. We're still seeing storms from this entire outbreak. You can see this entire line of storms right here. Eastern Oklahoma is seeing a severe thunderstorm warning. We even have a couple of tornado warnings and confirmed tornadoes with this as well. But overall, the severe weather threat is going to stay in eastern Oklahoma. Norman, Oklahoma City, you guys are pretty much in the clear in terms of severe weather heading into this evening, and that's due to a cold front that we're seeing throughout this evening. It's already started, so you might have noticed those temperatures have cooled down a little bit. Expect that downward trend into this evening. We're still dipping down into the lower 60s and eventually the lower 50s heading into tonight. We'll see those temperatures down into the 40s, 43 for Norman later on tonight. So colder temperatures into tonight, tomorrow afternoon. We're only going to warm up into the 60s. So fall-like temperatures indeed over the next few days. A similar concept will warm up into the upper 60s on Wednesday. And then Saturday, upper 50s, 59 for your high on Saturday. Now we'll see a cooler or a calmer pattern into Wednesday, but Thursday is when we'll see another chance for rain enter into the picture. This is the system that we're tracking next. This could be Friday into early Saturday morning, along with this trough line right here. And that's going to push off into the east and north, hopefully by Saturday. So we'll continue to track that as well. Overall, your 7-day forecast looking a little more calm compared to what we saw this past weekend, but Friday, Saturday, we'll have those rain chances as well. We're still going to be in the 60s by the end of next week into the beginning. Monday, a high of 63, but look at those lows will be in the 40s. So more fall-like temperatures throughout the rest of the week. Ladies, back to you.
All right, thanks, Chloe. Young children and pregnant women should lay off the leftover Halloween candy. A recent study linked early sugar intake to health issues later in life.
That's right. According to the journal Science, reducing sugar during pregnancy and up to age 2 may lower a child's risk of chronic illnesses in adulthood, resulting in a lower risk of type 2 diabetes by about 35% and a drop in the risk of high blood pressure by about 20%.
And after a week on the road, the OU football team hosted Maine Saturday.
That's right. And yeah, it was the first time those two teams have ever even met.
It sure was, Darby, and the game was exactly what the Crimson and Cream, or should I say the Crimson and Anthracite, wanted and needed after a 3-game skid. And the Sooners volleyball team did something they have not done in a decade. Find out what streak got snapped next in sports. Hello, I'm Aiden Tyler, and it is time for sports. OU football hosted Maine Saturday. The Sooners recovered after a slow start to win the game 59-14, and the big lead allowed them to play 26 freshmen in the game, something the Sooners say was needed.
At the end of the day, we got what we wanted accomplished, got a lot of young guys, some experience, saw some improvement with guys up front, just playing through the whistle, competing, playing with confidence. Obviously, had an outstanding day from a statistical standpoint, averaging 8.5 yards a play and rushing for almost 400 yards, the most here in the stadium in 4 years.
It was a lot of fun because you see these guys, they walk in here on Tuesday and they know it's about to be a hard practice. They got their head down. They're like, man, I don't know what I got myself into. But when they get a little taste of that right there in front of the crowd, man, they're going to come in this Tuesday. They're going to have a little bit more pep in their step.
Boost confidence going forward. I mean, we had a bunch of young guys in today on the O-line, and for them, just being able to go out there and dominate today and build that confidence up is huge for us. A lot of dudes were exhausted. There's a lot of people that played today, but it's good to get back on the win train, and hopefully these last couple of games, this last stretch, just stay on that win train.
And now a more experienced guy. OU senior linebacker Danny Stutzman has been named a semifinalist for the Butkus Award, which is given to the top linebacker in the country. Rocky Kalmus was the last Sooner to win the award back in 2001. And from a star on Saturdays to former Sooners who now star on Sunday, Jalen Hurts and his Philadelphia Eagles grabbed a narrow win over the visiting Jaguars 28-23. Hurts had nearly 300 total yards and 3 touchdowns in the win. And Ramondre Stevenson's New England Patriots played the Tennessee Titans. And here you will see what might be the play of the year. Drake May looks for months. Get it? And finally, he looks and finds Ramondre Stevenson in the end zone to send it into overtime. But the Patriots would fall in OT 20-17. And the Sooners volleyball team traveled down to Austin for a Red River matchup against the reigning national champions, Texas. The Sooners took a close first set, 25-21. However, the Horns took sets 2 and 3. In set 4, the Sooners dominated at 25-17, and in that last set, Kari Geisberger sealed the deal with her 13th kill as OU took down number 9 Texas. This marks the first Sooner win over Texas in volleyball since 2014, and Alexis Shelton was just named the SEC Co-Offensive Player of the Week. And OU women's basketball opens up their season tonight. The Sooners play the Southern Jaguars in just a few minutes at 5 p.m. OU won the Big 12 championship last season and has never lost a season opener under Jenny Baranczyk. Spencer, Darby.
All right, thanks, Aiden. Coming up, it's been a noisy past few days.
We'll get one last look at our forecasts coming up.
I'm Kelsey Speed at the OU Nightly Update Desk. With Election Day tomorrow, pollsters are expecting a record-breaking turnout. If you're finding yourself waiting in a long line, you can get free pizza delivered straight to you. All you have to do is tag Pizza to the Polls on social media, and they'll handle the rest. Early voters here in the state reported waiting over 2 hours to cast their ballot. Spencer, Darby.
Thank you, Kelsey. That certainly does sound convenient, but what hasn't been convenient has been this past few days of weather.
Yeah, Chloe, please tell us, we got some good news on the way. Are we out of the severe weather threat right now?
Well, finally, good news for Norman. We are out of that severe weather threat. In eastern Oklahoma, though, they're still seeing active severe storms, a couple of tornado warnings currently right now. So they're not out of the clear quite yet. In fact, in eastern Oklahoma, they're going to still see that enhanced risk heading into tonight. Norman, Oklahoma City, on the other hand, we're pretty much in the clear for severe weather for now. In the next couple of days, we'll be a little bit more on the clear side until we see a chance for rain on Thursday into Friday and potentially into Saturday as well. But above all, cooler temperatures ahead.
I'm excited to see the sunshine and finally get some sleep.
Absolutely, yes, I agree, 100%. We'll have a full night's sleep at some point.
Yay, so excited.
Well, thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Spencer Plato.
And I'm Darby McCormick. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.